Yeah.
You're now listening to Sport Champs.
What is up, you guys? And welcome back to Sport Champs, Street Champs' most exclusive and new podcast. Got my man Dave here to my right. Got my man Winston here to my left.
Yep.
And we're here to talk about the sports that we always love talking about right here and with you guys, okay? How you guys doing?
Good.
Doing good. Just got done with a fire interview with Red Sage. Just got that done with my man Deryk, Amber Rose Deryk over there.
Mm-hmm.
Loving it. Loving the new hair, dude. If you guys haven't checked out that last Street Champs show episode, you guys should check that out. Check that out. We got a bald Deryk now, looking like Amber Rose. I'm loving it, man. We got a quick episode this time around, guys. We got a quick one. We're going to kind of blast through all this stuff. No UFC this weekend. No UFC. Sad. We got Bellator happening right now as we're recording.
Yep.
You got that up, right?
Yeah, Yoel Romero is getting ready as we speak.
Shit, bro.
Yoel
You might want to put that up or over here or something, dude. Or at least tell me what's happening, man.
So if you guys hear an impromptu yell from me, it'll be me live reacting. I'll try to withhold my reaction, though. So
yeah, I definitely
for professionalism.
I hate you for not setting it up for us, but it's okay. So yeah, I mean, we got some sports news to get on. We got our parlay to make, and that's really it. We'll talk about fantasy football, more NFL stuff. We'll talk about all the games. Should we start with that football maybe, or what should we start with? What are you guys thinking? Let's start with your boxing news. We got some big boxing news from the top.
Right, let me pull it up. So I'm very out of the loop when it comes to boxing because the multitude of champions that they have with the many different weight classes. But so I'm unaware of this guy beforehand because, again, boxing's marketing is not as established as like a UFC. But unified junior lightweight champion Shakur Stevenson failed to make weight on Thursday, and he is stripped of his 2 130-pound titles.
Whew.
So I watched a thing where he originally weighed in, and he weighed at like 131.6. So he had like an hour and some change to try to lose that 1.6 pounds. Couldn't pull it off. Tough.
So you're right there. Tough, dude. Tough. I mean, can't make weight, dude. I mean, in Khamzat Chimaev's shoes, don't matter, but you gotta make weight, man.
That's, I mean, it's an agreement, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. The championship is defined at a weight class, and when you didn't make it, you voided your attempt at the contract.
That sucks, but he'll probably get back up there because I've heard of Shakur Stevenson, right? That's his name, right?
Yeah.
Shakur Stevenson.
So he didn't, this is unfortunate, but this is, I guess, in the longevity of things, this is better than losing about outright. But, if you think about it, a promoter is going to, every promoter for his next couple of fights is going to barter with him now. Because hey, you didn't make weight. How can we, that was probably the best paycheck he was ever signed up for because he's just getting, he's growing in popularity. He's kind of like a snowball as it rolls downhill. And this is going to be the big speed bump that everyone's going to refer to. How he navigates this moving forward is going to say a lot about his career. I'm not really aware of his resume because I haven't paid attention to that weight class. Resume. But it's, again, boxing has 3 different, there's the WBO, the WBC, and then I think there's one other one. So there's not just UFC. You know what I mean? These boxers, they box in different organizations. They do one bout agreements. So the champions, it's hard to keep up with. You know what I mean? And then when you find out about certain champions, everyone knows the Canelos. Everyone remembers the Manny Pacquiaos. Those dudes hold, if I'm not mistaken, 4 or 5 belts each because they go up and down in their weight. So
this dude's relatively, I don't want to say new, but I mean, he is undefeated at 18-0.
Sounds about right.
This was going to be his 19th fight. Yeah, I've heard of his name before. He was in the Olympics in 2016 in Brazil.
How old is he?
He won a silver medal in those Olympics. He's
got to be young.
1997.
Yeah, so he's
23.
3 years. Yeah, no, 3 years.
25.
Yeah.
25.
Yeah, sorry. I'm all thinking I'm 26. I did it off my age. But yeah, I mean, his World Series boxing record is 2-0.
Yeah, this is tough. And then, it's not necessarily the same phenomena, but an adjacent topic. We just spoke on a few weeks ago how Adrian Broner pulled out of his fight, last minute for citing mental health issues. Unfortunately, when it comes to, the fight business, these things happen, you know?
Yeah.
Some sports don't have that barrier to entry where you have to like football teams have to make the same number of like players on each side of the field. Basketball, same thing, but they don't have like it's not a 1v1 sport where the outcome involves people getting hurt. You know, not to say that people don't get hurt in other sports. So I get why the weight class thing matters. They're never ever going to do away with that. It's just unfortunate that like a bout was a victim of the rules, but you signed up for it. You know what you were doing. Like there's no one to blame in that scenario but yourself. It is what it is. Like, I'm sure he was, like, struggling with some... Like, maybe he had an illness. I'm sure boxing, like, they don't really report on that.
Right.
Transparency in boxing is not what it is in, like, MMA.
True. Winston, what you think?
I don't know. I think he's pretty good. I don't know.
Yeah. Man, a few words. I love it. All right. What else we got? I know you guys got some big basketball news. I think that's our only basketball news we have too, right?
Yeah. So the Celtics coach.
You're just waiting. He was waiting. He was in the wings waiting to talk about this.
He said we're gonna talk about it.
Yes. Drop it, bro. Drop this shit.
You guys have probably heard about it, but the Celtics coach, alleged, and this is more is gonna come out when you guys watch this probably than what we have right now, but he had sex with 2 coworkers, female coworkers.
That work for the Celtics.
That work for the Celtics. Well, wives of people working in the Celtics. One was a
Wives?
wife. One was a wife, and the other one was an employee.
This dude's just doing it, huh?
Yeah,
He's
and
just...
So
He's just slanging.
Yo, he's just giving him the can.
So he's been suspended for the whole season, this whole next season, for the Celtics. And it's starting to come out that it wasn't consensual.
It's
what?
alleged.
So
It's
he
alleged.
you raped him?
Well, we don't know.
It wasn't consensual.
Yeah. So what is like?
Yeah.
Right?
What does that mean?
So
Okay.
allegedly it was consensual beforehand, and then it turned into non-consensual. I don't know how that works. This is just this is what we know right now.
I see you.
This is what's
So-
speculated and what's came to mainstream news.
Gotcha.
Not even what we know, I guess, but like what we know of that could be happening. So it's fucking crazy, dude. Fucking, I was like, I don't think it's that big of a deal to fire him, but now that it's not consensual, I'm like, whoa.
So I don't want to like, I wouldn't want to belittle the claim that it wasn't consensual, but in my opinion, if you're like that female that is being exposed and all of this are assumedly exposed to like her husband, like she had an affair, that's gonna look really bad. And a way to attempt to save face. Again, I have no idea. I'm not a witness. I have no idea what happened there. But if you got to imagine where they're coming from, like their marriage is now on the hot seat because they had the affair. In a way to try to like belittle what you did is to insinuate that like, oh, I wasn't really like you. I don't think that they're insinuating that it was like a sexual assault type phenomenon, like a Deshaun Watson thing. I think what it was is that he was more interested than she was. They probably had like a weak moment, and then he wanted to expand upon that, and she didn't, and that's the part that didn't consent. But as far as like the relations,
It turned into harassment.
that's what they're insinuating. I don't
Yeah.
think that there was like forced sexual relations with these women. I think that there was
I need to pull up this dude. What's his name?
Ime Udoka. It's like IMA, I think.
Yeah. And the Celtics, I mean, I don't want to get away from that and onto sports, but the Celtics were looking pretty good. Like they just
NBA
went to
Finals.
NBA Finals, and then they improved their roster, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, they were looking like they're going to go to the finals again.
Udoka's a big part of that. You think they can make
I think
it
he's
without
a
him?
pretty good coach. I mean, they went from Brad Stevens to this guy, and they went to the NBA Finals.
Oh, man.
So,
And as a fan, you got to feel like you don't want to lose this coach, but like if you're a front office member, which is what like Twitter and like the Twitter sphere is trying to hypothesize, they're saying that like if you are the front office person who has way higher pull than any coach could ever have with the team, you're gonna get rid of this guy, especially if it was your wife.
Oh, yeah.
So when the smoke settles, we'll see how severe it was, because if like he got with like a head athletic like departments lady, okay, like that doesn't make it any less okay or more okay, but that would be a lot different if he got with like the team treasurer's wife.
Hold on, though.
Assuming that's a
Tell me what my
position.
man's is always lined up. Look at this lineup.
Bro, he's
perfect,
fresh.
perfect,
Yeah, he's
perfect,
fresh.
perfect. I've never seen a better lined up coach. Dude is lined up with the haircut.
he's a good looking dude.
He's out
No
here, bro.
homo.
Bro, it makes sense.
That lineup is.
It makes sense.
Who
that
is
he-
his barber?
Another
Oh,
thing.
his wife is right here. This is his wife.
Another thing is the NBA has.
I feel bad,
so
bro.
he
She's
cheated on-
pissed. Yeah, he
yes,
cheated
yeah.
on his wife,
Yeah.
bro.
I'm pretty sure they have morality clauses for NBA affiliates.
And
to-
he violated that, and that's
Yeah.
why he's suspended.
like you can't have an
So
affair.
how many games? What's the suspension looking like?
The whole season.
Whole season.
He's gone.
And it
the
might
whole
be
season.
the next season. They might even extend it. To
But if
next
they
season.
So
don't-
is he getting fired?
We don't.
Probably.
That's a lot. That's
I mean,
what's in the
why
air.
would we?
So he fucked with the front office's wife, someone in the front office. We don't know who.
Allegedly.
And that's allegedly. And so that's your boss. Like head coach is on the bottom of the front office. If you don't know that. And so
Damn, he hit Steve's wife, man.
I mean, we don't know. We'll find out more. This is all we know
He
right
hit
now.
Bruce's wife, man.
But the thing is, like Matt Barnes, former NBA player, former NBA champion, he's alleged that that what is made aware is not any capacity to what the truth is or what the alleged truth is, because you got to imagine there's what like inside sources have sold to media outlets is what we know, and what is actually known amongst people who are closer to that circle is going to be a lot more specific.
Yep.
So according to Matt Barnes, it's not like what we know is a very very vanilla version of what's going on.
Yeah,
right
and
now.
that's why I was so like, this is what we know right now, because it's going to change. So much has come out in the last
shit.
12 hours. Like,
Yeah, from going to bed last night to waking up, a lot of details have emerged.
Really?
yeah. So it's moving this is
Yikes.
very serious. I mean, like not just for sports, but just in general. Like,
Yikes.
I think we all mutually agree. We hope that nothing like nefarious is going on, and that like no one wishes him to lose his job unless if he's unwillingly harassing these people. Then yeah, you made your bed, you got to lie in it. But I personally don't want him to lose his job.
I mean,
but the
it
politics
sounds like he already nailed his coffin, man. He's gone. Like, it's done.
probably like again. What can I say? I have no affiliation to the Boston Celtics or anything like that.
You love the Boston Celtics. You told me off of camera that you are in love with them.
Fuck Boston.
oh
my God.
They do scream.
I'm
racism.
sorry, everybody from Boston.
No,
They
ignore
literally
him.
scream
Ignore
racism.
him.
They scream racism?
Yeah, Boston is known as like the most racist sports city. Like
Let's touch on that. Like in
when
all sports.
when players go to Boston, they like get called the N word. Like,
Oh, really?
Typically, yes.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
It's like known for that.
yeah, Dave loves the Boston.
You've gone to multiple games, right?
I hate.
Don't you have season tickets?
yeah, I think he has seasons, dude. No, I'm just kidding. Damn, that's crazy though. That's some crazy news to come out.
Yeah, no, so it's crazy. I fucked with the Celtics. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I
Oh,
can
so
fuck with
you're the
coach.
Celtics fan.
Right, yeah. No,
This
but-
guy.
Dude, that gives me an idea. Someone for Halloween needs to be Udoka, and then the other person needs to be fucking Urban Meyer.
I don't know. We need to find out what's happening with this Udoka guy before we
Yeah,
dress
this
as him as
dude,
Halloween.
he might have the freshest hairline in the biz. Dude's creepy. Okay,
Yeah.
dude's creepy.
as of right now.
yeah. Oh man, this is crazy. Wow, wild news.
But
wild news.
I think this is what I thought of when this is a comparison of what the NFL feels like and what the NBA feels like. Like, he's getting suspended for a season, and Deshaun Watson has sexually assaulted multiple women and is getting 12
dozens,
games.
11.
dozens,
11.
almost dozen,
I thought it was 24 or whatever, but
dozens.
No, they moved Deshaun's to 11 because the week he comes back is against the
Oh,
Texans.
11 games. okay.
but yeah, 12 weeks.
I was
Yeah,
saying
Sorry.
dozens of women.
Sorry, my bad.
yeah, that's
He's
what I thought you were
assaulted.
talking about as women. But anyway,
Yeah.
but so he only gets 12 games, 11 games, whatever. And this guy's getting suspended for a whole season, and we don't even know the full details. Like, they probably do, I'm assuming, but like
It's on the commission, isn't it?
this is the Celtics. The
No,
Celtics.
but it's all. Oh, it's the team.
The
That
team
bans.
is
Okay.
like, you're suspended for this whole entire year. Yeah,
okay.
the NBA.
So it's not the NBA.
The NBA is not.
They're
stepped in
saving
yet.
face by suspending him, but the question is, are they suspending him to hope that they can like somehow that this irons itself out and then he could be a coach the following season because they want to retain him, or are they allowing this to give them time to see what the fuck happened? You know what I'm saying? Because it seems if they don't suspend him, they look as an organization as if they condoned the behavior, especially if it came to their knowledge and they didn't do anything about it. This is saving face right now, but like imagine if you're a fan, you got to be a little bit conflicted because you don't want to lose your NBA championship run head coach, but you can't have that as your coach. Morals matter.
Fuck no, you can't have
I'd
that
be
as your
so
coach.
sad as a Boston Celtics fan.
You're just conflicted
Right?
though, because do you want justice to be served to come to him if like what he did is true, but you gotta in the back of your mind you gotta want like you low key gotta be like I hope none of this is true because I
Yeah.
want to retain my coach. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. I mean, that's why you got to wait for the facts before you judge. You know what I mean?
It's ugly though. I don't know if I've heard of a scandal since like the Clippers head coach that was like, or not, that was the owner, but that's been like this significant with the NBA.
We'll see what happened. If she was down the whole time, then it's going to blow over like it was nothing.
Yeah,
but, if it really is harassment and like that's proven, then that's obviously not a good look.
But I'm pretty sure that they have a clause in their contracts to you can't have like affairs and or you can't have relations with coworkers, if I'm not mistaken. So like even if they prove all
bullshit.
if they I agree, but if they prove everything was consensual, then he might still be SOL. So
Yeah.
obviously I hope
Crazy.
That's tough.
It's crazy.
Have y'all ever hooked up with one of your coworkers before?
Not while I worked with them, but
Gotcha.
like
Afterwards.
after I no longer worked with them.
Ooh, do tell. No, I'm just kidding.
I hooked up with two coworkers. Did not end well. So,
Damn, both of them?
yeah.
Damn, that'll make the old watering jug kind of awkward.
You know, they both left shortly after. So
Damn, you must have had that bomb. That bomb.
it lasted a while, but when it ended,
Okay, I dig it,
Well,
dude.
good for
yeah,
you.
he had that bomb.
I was just curious if
Yeah,
you
that
guys have
bomb
ever
pop.
done it.
Damn it.
He says, "Damn it." I'm sorry.
That's all good.
Fun times. Fun times.
So that's about like the gist of the NBA news.
Yeah. That was all the basketball news we have.
Pretty much.
Should we start talking about what else do we have? That's
just
pretty much
got
it. Other than like
football,
fight
yeah.
news and then football, right? Should we do fight news first since there's not even very many fights this week?
Yeah, go for
Let's
it.
start with that.
Now it's time to talk MMA.
Yeah, so let's talk MMA. I want to start with the Dana White Contender Series this week. Let's talk about that 17-year-old phenom. We should probably label him a little sport champ.
Yeah,
this motherfucker is
number
the
2.
youngest UFC fighter in the world now.
Ever.
He's ever been signed to the UFC. 17 years old. Mm-hmm. This guy's 17. Let me get his name too.
Had to get
Let me get his full
co-signed by
name.
his
I know it's
pronoun.
Oh, you told me about this.
Rosas, right? Rosas. I think it's Rosas.
I honestly, I wasn't watching the Contender Series. I got the notification that he got his like he won his contract. So then I went back and watched the fight. And
Yeah,
like,
I watched him
It was
live.
for those who didn't watch it. I'm not familiar with his name because he's so new. But he was 17 years old.
Raul Rosas Jr.
This dude fought a 25-year-old and just like bullied him.
Yeah.
Bullied him.
He looked like his older brother the whole time.
He was huge. He was, 1, big for the division. 2, big for a 17-year-old. This kid is the biggest 17-year-old that I've ever seen fight in the cage. Dude was huge. So he fought. He was on the co-main, and he fought one Mando Gutierrez, and it was a unanimous decision win, 30-27, all through the boards. Beat the man's ass.
What's his weight class?
They fought at.
They were little, like 135
They were
to 155.
155s.
Okay.
To like 155, 135 range.
135. It doesn't say. Bantamweight.
Yep, 135.
135.
Okay.
Yep. So
He doesn't look like a 17-year-old in there. He looks like he's in his 20s.
doesn't. Let's go over these. So this is another Dana White Contender Series where everybody got a contract. Every winner got a contract. So let's go through
Damn.
these. We got
handing
Jafel
out contracts.
Filho. Dude, he's doing it, dude. And I honestly warranted. These fights were pretty good.
They're also making fighter cuts we'll talk about after this.
They are making fighter cuts. We'll go over the roster and who's leaving, who's coming. Right now, we got 4 TKOs, 1 decision. The 1 decision, Raul Rosas in the co-main event against Mando Gutierrez. Just talked about that. The first fight, though, we had a Jafel Filho taking on a Roy Burt Echeverria. We had a TKO win at 3 minutes and 13 seconds of the 3rd round. Right after that, we had Nurulo Aliyev taking out Josh Wick, who was from Denver. Took him out TKO punches. First round, 4 minutes and 36 seconds. Couldn't get out of there with good old Narulo. Right after that, we had old NFL player Austin Lane, his second chance in the Dana White Contender Series. Mm-hmm. He actually got knocked out by one. Who did he get knocked out? I was gonna say Chris Barnett, but it wasn't him. It was Greg Hardy. He fought Greg Hardy in the Dana White Contender Series. That was the last time he was in it. Got knocked out. But Austin Lane came back, took out one Richard Jacoby via TKO punches in the first round. Got himself signed to the UFC. Right after that Raul Rosas fight. And the main event was Bruno Ferreira versus Leon Alui. Or Aliu? Yeah, one of those. But yeah, Bruno got the win, TKO, 1 minute and 35 seconds in the first round. I'll have you guys know every favorite won on the Dana White Contender Series this week. We have one more week of Dana White Contender Series, and it is done. I'm sad. It's been a great season.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a great season.
Dare I say the best?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would agree. Season 6, we're on week 9, or did week 9 just passed? And I don't know. I can't say more. I love the show. You could tell that it's Dana White's baby. He loves it. You can see that he loves it more than normal fight nights. Like, that's his shit. Like, he loves it. So I agree with him, and I enjoyed it, and I'm going to be sad to watch it go. We're only going to get to talk about it one more time for a year, man. So, I hate that it's seasonal like that. I wish it was just continuing, but, I mean, you can't just keep signing people.
So, if I'm not mistaken, the Contender Series is basically the byproduct of what was originally a pretty popular YouTube series where it was Dana White
looking for a fight, right?
Yeah, him, Matt Serra, and Dean Thomas, and they would go and look for places. That's where they discovered Sean O'Malley, Sage Northcutt, a couple of other like heavy hitters that we know today that are pretty popular. Instead, he basically realizes how popular and what he offers. So instead of going and like seeing these other fights, he's basically I don't want to use this word because it's not necessarily a word, but he's like insourcing the product to where it gets to take place on a UFC banner with UFC branding and all of his ESPN money. So I'm all for it. I agree. I wish we could do this more often, but could you imagine how difficult this is? There's a reason we're getting to see some reoccurring appearances on this show is because, one, a lot of these fighters, like if you suffer a TKO loss pretty fast, we don't know anything about you other than you got hit really hard once. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Secondly, it's probably a struggle to find a lot of talent for this that they feel comfortable having. Like this 17-year-old was a total risk, and I applaud them for taking that. Because like I would say that Bellator has kind of led them in those earlier gimmick fighters like the Aaron Picos and stuff like that we've gotten to see, and they've really babied them. But now that the UFC is doing this, it's like, well, they're like, this is such a good alternative to the Ultimate Fighter as well.
How do you even commission a 17-year-old to fight a 25-year-old?
You got to contact their parents to sign a permission.
Yeah, so
slip.
their parents had to sign.
You have to co-sign.
Yeah, for every fight.
It's so crazy, man.
Yeah.
Until he's 18.
Probably been doing this for a couple years.
He has been.
Absolutely.
He said his first fight was at 15, I think. What he said.
Fuck?
See, that's
I think.
Yeah. No, I mean, I believe it, dude.
I might be wrong.
now
He's
I'm all
this
for
good
it.
at 17.
Right? It's
I'm
crazy.
all for it, but like if I was a parent hypothetically, it's like just for the rationale of your brain, like I would want them to wait till they're like 21 or 2 before they started competing. But you train your ass off. At 17 years old, your brain still has like 5 years of development of just expanding and like whatever. So all that being considered, it's like I personally find that a little morally but I don't hold that against anyone because he signed up for it.
Yeah, I mean, football, you're not going to have as bad as MMA, obviously, but like, you could say the same thing for football. That's kind of my point. So, but was this guy a grappler or is he swanging?
He was doing both.
Yeah.
He was doing both.
Okay.
I don't know what happened.
And pounding.
But Yoel's
barking at the camera now.
chirping. I love you.
Oh, yeah. He definitely got the knockout from that.
I don't see homie yet. I'll tell you in a sec. Sorry.
Yeah, so watch that and tell us what happened. Pause, cut me off at any time, and let us know. And show me the replay if they're showing the replay of the knockout. But let's go over some UFC roster changes real quick.
First one and foremost.
Featherweight
GOAT.
The biggest loss to the UFC that we have to go over. Officially removed from the UFC roster, Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo. So he has officially put in his retirement.
Oh.
And he's retiring. He recently just had a kid, too.
He posted his kid's birth in the room, and then the post says that he's retiring.
He's retiring.
He fulfilled his contract with the UFC bout-wise, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, he said he retired a while back, right? You told that.
His last fight, he said he was, he just didn't officially do it yet. But now, looking at the UFC roster watch on Twitter, shout out, he has been officially removed from the roster of the UFC, which is sad to see.
He claims he wants to consider other, like he wants
Avenues.
to consider boxing. I mean,
can see it.
I get why a lot of people are doing this because it's novelty and it's less like wear and tear on your body. You're training one thing, whatever. Go get the bag. But like me personally, like unless you're gonna fight Cans, I don't want you to fight anybody but Cans because I'm tired of seeing like the greatest if you put him in a room, the same room as like John Jones, Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, George St. Pierre in no order, and the difference between them is he fought until he lost. Those other fighters didn't fight till they lost, for the most part. Like,
God dang it. Thank you, Jose, for all the great fights, man. Thank you. I mean, he reigned for so long.
Greatest featherweight of all time.
Greatest WEC champion ever. Like
the greatest product to come out of the WEC.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great product that came out of that. Like we got him, Donald Cerrone, you know what I'm saying, Dominic Cruz, but no one rivals that championship run that he had.
Like he reigned.
That was his division until Conor.
And until Conor did the 13-second magic, man. Did the 13-second magic. So
13
what
seconds.
happened? What happened with...
They haven't shown it yet, these fucking assholes.
Are you serious?
They've just been
fucking around?
Yeah, I'm just waiting and waiting and waiting.
What if it was probably a bad knockout then?
I doubt it.
You don't think so?
I don't know.
Here, I'm going to try and find it on Twitter. But let's keep going over these. So we also had an Alan Amedovski taken out of the roster. Mason Jones taken out of the roster. Mickey Gall is taken out of the roster. No more Mickey Gall in the UFC. Also, if you guys didn't know who Mickey Gall was, the first guy to fight CM Punk in the UFC, beat his ass.
He got to the UFC because at his local circuit, he called out CM Punk. Once the news broke that Punk was going to fight, then he was like, he was very green at the time. I think he only had like 3 fights, but he was basically signed for a novelty fight, and then he happened to be decent.
Hunter Azure also taken out, but then we have Don Shanis added, Denise Gomez added, Daniel Zellhuber added, Joe Pfeiffer added. I mean, you guys, these are kind of older ads in here, but I did want to state that, yeah, Jose is officially taken out of the roster, which, leaves me a little sad. The most recent changes, we had Jacqueline Morim getting added. Then we had Elizy Zaleski dos Santos taken out of the roster.
One thing that I wanted to mention before we got too far away from it, next week on the last episode of the season of the Contender Series is the return of Bo Nickel.
Ooh, the last one. He's going to get a contract.
Penn State wrestler. He was like the Big 10 or Big 12.
Oh, I just found the finish on Twitter right here.
Don't say it. I'm about to see it.
Ooh.
I'm going to see it. The sad thing is you looked it up faster than I could see it.
You want to just watch it here, bro?
I mean, he's... I'll get to it.
Damn.
Brutal. No, I'm telling you right now. Just watch it so we can talk about it. We ain't got time for this, Dave.
The fact that they haven't replayed it is pissing me off.
They're not. They're okay. They're gonna play it right now when we're talking about it.
They better. Normally they go to the cam. They're like, "Let's go look at your hand."
Tell me when they're gonna start showing it so we can just start talking about it.
Their interview Manhoove because he said that this was his last bout.
Oh, really? Well, I feel bad for him. Right? He did indeed. I'm sorry, Dave. I'm just gonna start talking about it. He did indeed get fucked up pretty bad. Manhoove getting some devastating ground and pound and getting knocked out by Uriah Romero. Brutal elbows, man. Dropping they haven't showed it yet still? Here, just watch this, please.
I guess at this point. Oh, shit.
Here, I'm bringing it back for you. Oh.
So he...
Devastating elbows on the ground.
He was in the
knocked
UFC,
him out.
right?
So Yoel Romero was in the UFC. He got a lot of finish wins.
Yeah, he was pretty good.
He had signed with Bellator.
He was struggling to make weight because they gave him like multiple title bout opportunities, and on 2 different occasions he didn't make weight for the bout. So it was like he wasn't eligible to win the belt. When he fought Luke Rockhold, knocked Luke Rockhold out, he didn't make weight. So Luke Rockhold would have won the middleweight belt that was vacant at the time. He didn't make weight. He couldn't win it. Happened to win the fight. And then he fought Robert Whittaker one of the 2 times they fought. Didn't make weight. Robert pulled it out in the 5-round decision, but ultimately he didn't make weight. He was ineligible for the belt. So the UFC took offense to a lot of that. They wanted him to move up from 185. I don't think his management wanted him to move up from 185 for competition reasons.
He doesn't have to make weight at Bellator? Or
no, they made him fight at 205 in Bellator, but it's much more favorable matchups at 205 in Bellator.
Way more. He would fight killers at 205 in UFC. But let's go, since we're talking about fights, let's go over these last UFC fights, huh? Go over this Corey Sandhagen Song Yadong card. Pull up those prelims. I actually didn't get to watch most of them, but let's go over them anyways. Aspen Ladd and Sarah McMahon were supposed to fight on this card. Didn't end up happening. The first fight on these prelims was Nicholas Mota taking on Cameron Van Camp. Mota knocking out Van Camp in the first round, 3 minutes, 49 seconds. Right after that, we had a bantamweight bout. Javid Basharat. Now, I told you guys to drop a bet on Basharat for inside the distance. Sorry, he actually got a decisive decision win over Tony Gravely. Still got the win. Right after that, we had Jillian Robertson literally putting out Maria Agapova. Did you guys see that replay on the chokeout? of Jillian Robertson?
She spit her mouthpiece out.
Did you guys see that shit?
They sent it to me, yeah.
It was a scramble.
Scary, cause you can tell like Agapova's body, like her reaction of her getting knocked out, like the way her arms like moved and like
fucking tapped it.
It was oh man, she was biting on her tongue.
Raw. Like she had no mouthpiece because it got spit out in a scramble.
Oh my god, dude. It was a brutal choke out. I really want to show Deryk that one because he'll be like, oh my god.
Deryk's just going to be like, bitch, I do that every weekend.
Right after that fight, we had lightweight Trey Ogden beating Daniel Zellhuber, killing all of my parlays. I had Daniel Zellhuber. I put the Zellhuber egg in too many of my baskets. And boy, did it break on me because Trey Ogden winning the decision win. And Daniel really didn't have anything for him. He didn't look great. It didn't look like it was his night. I was very sad over it. Right after that, we had welterweight Trevin Giles winning a decision win over Louis Cosce. Sad that's another fight I said that was not going to go to the decision. Guess what? Went to the decision. Wasn't the best week for my bets because right after that, we had Damon Jackson knocking out Pat Sabatini for the feature prelim. Guess who had Pat Sabatini parlayed up with Corey Sandhagen? Yeah, boy. So Damon Jackson knocking out Pat Sabatini in the first round, 1 minute and 9 seconds. What got it off is a front kick that front kick right to the chin, dude.
That's popular as of late.
It's popping, dude. It's popping.
Chandler did it, and everyone been doing it since.
Another sad story is Damon Jackson actually lost his brother days before the fight.
Oh fuck.
So that man had another thing going in that fight. He was demons. It's something else. It was something else. They don't really know what happened. Apparently there might have been a few medical conditions. They don't know what happened though. They don't know why he died. So it was there's no one that would have beat Damon Jackson on that night.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
God bless him.
Yeah, God bless him. It's a sad loss, but he got the dub. Over one tough customer, Pat Sabatini. Pat Sabatini isn't no fucking pushover. So I parlayed it up with Corey. All right, moving on to this main card. I'm not going to go over the 2 canceled fights on it. Don't really care. Anthony Hernandez getting the submission win in the round 3 over Marc-Andre Barriault. That was a good fight. Did you guys see that fight, either of you? No? Yeah, it was a good fight. It was a really good fight. Anthony Hernandez looking like a dog up in there. I've seen him fight many a times. Right after that, we had a heavyweight bout. Tanner Boser taking on Rodrigo Nascimento Ferreira. And Nascimento Ferreira took it to Tanner Boser. It's another bout that I was like, there's no way it's going to the distance. Man, it did. Rodrigo did what he needed to do, got the win over Tanner Boser. I think Tanner Boser, that's 2 in a row losses on him. Right after that, we had Joe Pyfer doing what Joe Pyfer does best. That right now, that's Dana's cash cow right now because he got a knockout in the first round, 3 minutes and 55 seconds over Alan Amedovski, who was just taken off the roster, I believe. I think. I don't know. I'm going to have to look again. I read it off on here.
Yeah.
But right after that, we had featherweight Andre Touchy Feely getting the decision win over Bill Algeo. I had Bill Algeo money line on that bet. I lost all my bets, man, this week. It's all good, though, because right after that fight, we had a middleweight bout for the co-main event. Chidi Njokuani and Gregory Rodriguez. And
that was
let's just start about the craziness in that fight. The craziness. It was a crazy fight. If you guys haven't seen that fight yet, go back and watch it. Gregory Rodriguez, against all odds, came back and did the fucking thing. This dude literally had... Did I show you the cut?
I don't think so.
You see the cut?
Did.
Yeah, with him, with his artery. Yes. You can see his fucking artery.
That was gross.
And his right here.
That was
on his forehead.
That was so gross.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was the gnarliest cut that I've ever seen. It made Song Yadong's giant cut on his eyebrow look like nothing.
Yeah.
But that was a bad cut, too. So, Corey Sandhagen getting the KO TKO against Song Yadong.
So
right after round 4.
So
they didn't let him go back.
Talking about that one, I wasn't paying the closest attention to because I want to say that was last week when we filmed the 1,000 subscriber episode.
That's what we were
Shout out our 1,000
We were
subscribers.
filming, so we didn't really get to... Yeah.
But that being said, I watched a bunch of highlights of it, just like highlight moments and whatnot, and then I watched a couple of podcasts, like the Weighing In podcast and Brandon Schaub's podcast, and everyone agreed that fight was extremely even between Dong and Sandhagen. They even the judges' scorecards came out saying that going to the 5th round, it was all tied. So the winner of that round was going to win the fight.
Crazy.
And then Corey Sandhagen just lands, if I'm not mistaken, it was a standing elbow from the clinch. And then it looked like someone turned their faucet on halfway, and it happened to be homie's face in blood. And it was right here, and since they were clinching, there was a lot of pressure.
It looked gnarly in the pictures.
Like his back looked like he had been juicing tomatoes or something. It was so bloody, and it was so instant that, like, justifiably so, they had to stop the commotion. It was being over his eye. It compromised his vision. That wasn't a cut that looked like it was gonna stop. Like, I don't think Vaseline was going to stop
Dude's
that.
whole face is red. Like,
and so Corey Sandhagen wins the fight by medical TKO. More power to him.
I mean, he did it. He did the damn thing. He needed that win.
Aurora's finest.
Aurora's finest. Check out Corey Sandhagen in the goddamn 303. Okay.
Did you see who he called out?
Nuh-uh. Who'd he call out?
Davalishvili.
Oh, yes, I did hear about that.
First of all,
why are you calling out Marab, dude? I don't think that's a good matchup
he
for
knows,
you.
He knows because of the complications of the people ahead of him. He can't necessarily call out the champ or anyone ahead of him.
Marab, though?
Well, Marab's not going to fight, what's his name? He's not going to fight his boy, the champ.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Because he's not fighting the champ, Marab is just the gatekeeper. And
Sandhagen
knows. And Sandhagen already lost to the champ, Sterling, Aljamain. Aljo submitted him in like 1 minute and like it was like less than a minute. It was like 45 seconds. It was pretty embarrassing.
Crazy. Let's move on, though. Let's move on from fights. We're kind of got a tight schedule. Man, I love talking about fights. We could talk about this goddamn all day. We're lucky that we don't have a card this weekend to be talking about it.
There might even be, because you know how the UFC is all low-key with their random-ass cards.
Nah, man. There ain't shit, man. I'm looking at it right now. Let me double check. Get a little refresh on this. No, we got Dern and Jan October 1st.
Okay.
Yep.
Little break. The first break in MMA.
Little break. It's kind of nice, man. It's kind of nice. Gives us time for our pods to keep on rolling. Let's get into this football talk. I kind of want to go over all these games and scores first, and then we'll talk about it. So I'm just going to rail through these NFL scores real quick.
From last week.
Yeah. And we'll talk about the games. From it, we'll talk about our fantasy picks, and then we'll talk about this week.
Yep. We got about 30 minutes.
Yep, going through them quick. Week 2 of the NFL, we had the Chargers losing to the Chiefs 27-24. We had the Patriots taking out the Steelers 17-14. Thanks, Deryk, for losing that leg of our parlay. We had the Giants surprisingly beating out the Panthers 19-16. The Jets surprisingly beating out the Browns 31-30, a comeback.
Dude.
A last-minute comeback. We had the Jaguars taking out the Colts 24-0.
Colts look like shit.
What
I said at the beginning of the season, not looking good.
I'm real sad with my pick of Jonathan Taylor. Moving on, the Dolphins beat another surprising defeat. The Dolphins beat the Ravens 42-38. What a game.
That game.
Waddle dropped 40 points for me. It was fun.
Tyreek Hill almost had like 200 receiving yards. He dropped like almost 40 points in fantasy.
I still lost.
Tua, that was a wild-ass game.
Everyone was crazy. Everyone went off. The Buccaneers taking out the Saints 20-10. We've seen it coming, but I mean, Tom Brady didn't look the best.
No.
Didn't look the best.
He struggles against the Saints. They say that he struggles against the Saints for whatever reason. I put like $20 on the Bucks.
Nice.
Yeah. So I barely pulled it out.
I was gonna say you were probably shitting bricks there for a little bit.
So I'm like, dude, Brady,
y'all, come on, yeah.
Figure it out.
Dude, poor Winston. He's all fuck.
Yeah.
We had the Lions taking out the Commanders. Yo, good job, Lions.
Right.
I mean, good job. They finally deserved they didn't deserve the score they got last season. They did not. No. I feel bad.
They were better
for them.
than what they were.
So beating out the Commanders 36-27. Right after that, we had the 49ers beating out the Seahawks 27-7, made it look easy.
Trey Lance got injured.
Trey Lance
now the quarterback.
Trey Lance out for the season.
Yep.
Oh man, what a loss. That's a big loss for the 49ers. Not a big loss for a fantasy team, though, if you ask me.
We'll talk about it because that's who the Broncos are going against this week. We'll
get more into that here in a sec. And then we had the Rams taking out the Falcons 31-27. The Cardinals taking out the Raiders 29-23. The Broncos getting the dub finally against the Texans 16-9. It wasn't the prettiest game, I will say, though.
It was not.
Losing Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah.
I literally put a $5 anytime touchdown on Jerry Jeudy right before he
fucked up my parlay. I hit every single leg of the parlay other than Jerry Jeudy.
That was your only leg of your giant parlay?
Giant parlay.
How many legs?
It was like 7 or 8 legs. I hit
what was your odds? Plus 20,000?
It was like plus 400.
Plus 400? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did basic ones, but I put $20 on it because it was a free, no risk, no sweat. No sweat. But so I got $20 just in free bets. I still would have won like $100. Yeah, but it is what it is.
Damn it, Judy. He fell on the ball, man.
Yeah.
Fucked his shit up. Well, how did he? What hurt? What did
his shoulder?
He got hit hard. Yeah,
it was a shoulder. I see you. The Cowboys beating the Bengals 20-17. Cowboys needed that win. I will say.
That was week 1, I think.
No, this is week 2.
Cowboys beating who?
Cowboys beating the Bengals.
Yeah, no, that was week 2.
Oh, forgive me.
Thanks, Dave.
With a backup quarterback.
Cooper
Rush.
Yeah, dude, fucking crazy.
No Dak, dude. No Dak.
Bengals are looking like shit.
They are. And guess who has Joe Burrow?
Yeah, so
shout out.
Dave, yeah.
Shout out. Yeah.
God damn it. He's been sacked like 14 times.
He has, dude. He has. But honestly, like he could be doing better. Or he could be doing better on fantasy points wise, but he could be doing a lot worse. On fantasy
he's
points.
He's not doing bad.
He's middle of the pack.
He's still a good quarterback.
He's not going to lose you a game, probably, because I don't think you're really. I mean, if you have a quarterback that goes off and throws like 5+ touchdowns, I still don't think that like puts you over 20-point differential.
Yeah. I mean, the Bengals defense allowing like 30 points to fucking Cowboys with a backup quarterback, like
20 points.
20 points?
Yeah.
Okay. Fucking still not good. And
still not good.
You lost to the Steelers, which their offense is trash.
Yeah, they're not looking hot. 0-2 Bengals.
Yeah.
Back to their old ways, huh?
Hope not. I like Joe Burrow.
I like Joe Burrow too.
I hope he does good.
He's on my fucking fantasy team. He better do good.
Yeah.
Then the Packers beating out the Bears 27-10. The Bills destroying the Titans 41-7.
Yep.
And the Eagles taking out the Vikings 24-7.
Yep.
So
Eagles fans are happy as fuck.
I called Eagles as my dark horse this year, and
they're looking good.
Jalen Hurts is top 3 quarterback in the league through 2 weeks.
He's so good, dude. He's so good. All right, let's talk. Do we have any NFL news?
Well, let's talk about this last week, Dave. What did you think about the Chiefs? You haven't been here for 2 weeks.
Yes, you haven't been here for a little bit, dude. Speak your piece.
I got to talk a little bit of my shit. So we had a parlay before week 1 where I was just like, Mahomes over 2.5 touchdowns. He gave you fucking 5 of them, okay?
Okay.
Yep.
So
against the Cardinals.
And then he lost that leg for us.
So we got
shout out the
Browns.
So homie got us 5 touchdowns. Right now I saw a chart that it was like the scoringest offenses in the league. We're the only 2 behind the Bills themselves.
You guys dropped 40 week 1, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Against Cardinals, their defense. I don't think their defense is that good.
I agree.
Not this year.
I agree, but Pat Mahomes, just like everyone was curious about, like, how are we gonna, like, what is life without Tyreek look like? And Mahomes
looking pretty good.
Mahomes is just like, I mean, I'm eating good. Like, we're still getting tutties. Like,
see, so I can have a hot take on this. I think the Chiefs are killing it now, but I think once the league is going to adapt to what the Chiefs are doing, because this is a new offense that's not brand new, but you're used to Tyreek going down the field or Kelsey, and that was pretty much it.
Yep.
Mahomes is spreading it around. So you gotta, as a defensive coordinator, they're trying to figure out, okay, what are the Chiefs doing different? And once they can figure that out, I think we'll start to see the Chiefs struggle for a little bit, and then hopefully they get it figured out. Well, not hopefully for the Broncos, but they may get it figured out towards the end of the season. But I think we're gonna go through like a 4-week stretch where the Chiefs are like struggling offensively. We'll see.
It's possible, but the reason I was like very excited because we beat the Chargers, who I think is our only. Like, I'm no disrespect to the Broncos, but I think the Chargers are the real threat to the AFC West crown this season.
Well, that's definitely hate to the Broncos.
I mean,
But I mean, if I'm going to go off the sample size that I've seen, I will acknowledge that there's a lot of room for football improvement. That's totally implied. But if y'all are averaging like 16 points a week, we're averaging Mahomes on his career. Mahomes on his career averages 27 points a game. Now, granted, that's not Mahomes throwing 27 points worth of touchdowns, but his offense. In over 4
Andy Reid's offense.
Yeah, in over 4 consecutive seasons, you got the key to beating us is either shut us down, which the Broncos have been. Their defense is really good at that.
We beat you last year.
No, you didn't.
I wish.
Yeah, we did.
Y'all haven't beat us in
almost every single game is.
We've been
close
so
with
close. I know.
With not good teams.
That's fair, but
like
all I know is that I think that the Chargers are like
the team. No, you haven't.
I think the Chiefs and the Chargers are the team to beat in the AFC West. I think the Raiders look down bad.
Broncos are looking better than the Raiders.
They are.
They are looking better than the Raiders, but I don't trust your guys' coaching yet.
Dude, yeah.
And then Russ, there's a lot of blame, like a collective opinion that I have. So like when they're like, okay, we got Russ, we're going to let Russ cook. That was his disgruntlement with the Seahawks and Pete Carroll. They wouldn't let him do what he wanted to do. Well, in week 1, Russ, you have the authority to call timeout as you guys ultimately land on a 60-whatever yard field goal attempt for game. Like, sure, I'm sure he's got Nathaniel Hackett in his ear telling him, like, what to do, and he's not going to disrespect the wishes of his coach. But the sentiment of let Russ cook, where did that go? You know what I'm saying?
We should have ran the ball more. Javonte Williams is averaging like 6 yards a fucking carry, dude.
Our coaching is fucking up right now.
But it's not about letting Russ cook. We get into the red zone and we can't score. That's our problem.
Fumble twice on the fucking
fumble twice.
one
That's
yard
one game.
line.
But the Texans game, we couldn't score in the red zone. We have no problem getting to the red zone. It is executing in the red zone. And that's what's costing us.
Yep.
So we get that figured out. We're fucking gravy. We're
Yeah.
fucking gravy. Our defense is going to play better because we're going to be up by more points. Bradley Chubb is looking like a beast.
He is,
He's getting
dude.
multiple sacks. Like
He's making Vaughn proud.
But with that being said, you talked about the coach. The coach is looking like shit. We had
Looking like shit.
The fans literally would say the play clock so we wouldn't get a false start at home. Like, bruh, like what the fuck is that
What
about?
is that about?
Like, the
dude?
fans,
That shit was pissing me off.
fans shouldn't have to do that. And that ultimately,
My dad went to that game.
that's
Yeah.
kind of on the quarterback, bro. Like, you need to know the play clock, and if you are not getting it in advance, then that's not on you, but you need to improvise.
You got to
And,
do something.
like, ultimately it comes down to the quarterback because you're on the field, you can connect the ball, you can get everyone set up in time. Like, we used
Shaking the rust off Russ, man.
all 3 of our timeouts before like 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. We didn't have any timeouts.
What the fuck?
Like, yeah, no, Nathaniel
Yikes.
Hackett, not impressed.
Not impressed either.
Yeah, but
So,
I still have faith.
Well, I have faith too,
But-
just not.
all that being considered, though, like the Chiefs just beat the only other team I'm nervous about going against in the postseason in our division.
Bills.
No, the Chargers.
Oh, in our division. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
like we just beat them, and that was like every year.
You guys aren't scared of the Broncos?
I'm intimidated by every professional.
You don't
sports
think
team.
we're going to split 1-1?
Fuck no.
You guys think you're going to win both games?
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
fucking. He's
I'll
up
bet
there, bro.
you money right now that doesn't happen.
Oh, we having a fucking bet right now?
I'll bet you $10. We
$10.
at least split. Yeah?
Shake it right here.
This is
I'm a
binding.
witness.
This
I'm a
is
witness.
binding. This is binding.
Here,
Nice.
I'm the witness. So here, I'll
$10.
shake for you, Winston.
Okay.
If we
You
tie,
want me to tickle his
if we
hand?
tie,
Or
that
shake it?
voids all this bullshit.
You want me to tickle his
Well,
hand?
if we tie, whoever wins, like, we can't tie both games. We're not going
Yeah,
to.
of course.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
tickle his palm for you.
Okay. You got to tickle my palm, too, though.
Yeah,
We're spreading. Yep, nice. Okay.
but
All right, we got it in.
all things considered, I think Mahomes hasn't lost a step without Tyreek. I think this offense is not as firepower driven as Tyreek, because how could it be? But like we're deeper at wide receiver than we've ever been.
I mean,
with Mahomes,
for sure, but you're not top end. You don't have that top end talent.
that's facts.
Do you agree that you do you agree you deserve to win that game as a Chief? You think the Chiefs deserve to win that game? You don't think there was anything that went the Chiefs' way that didn't go the Chargers' way? Like, you guys won by a little bit.
We were up 10 in the fourth quarter, and then homie got a garbage time touchdown, and then went for the onside. We were gonna win by 10.
Okay.
And we were
there was multiple dropped interceptions by Mahomes. That's why I bring this up. And then there wasn't interceptions by Herbert.
How many dropped interceptions did John Elway have?
How many 2 years old.
How many dropped interceptions? Hold on. How many dropped interceptions did Peyton Manning have for the Broncos?
I don't know. It just
Exactly.
happened.
Exactly.
It happened last week.
Exactly,
What do you
because those
mean?
are insignificant stats that no one fucking cares about except for people who are haters of Mahomes.
It was
He's calling you a hater, dude.
Peyton Manning.
He's not a hater of Mahomes. I will give him credit. He's called Mahomes being the best quarterback in the league for years running.
Peyton Manning and John Elway were like 20 fucking years ago, dude.
Peyton Manning won
was
Super Bowl
10 years
50.
ago. Yeah, he was like 10 years ago when he was actually good.
And it was an old Peyton Manning.
The reason I'm asking that is because if you can't name these greats and their drop pick ratios, you can't hold it against Mahomes.
I don't have any stats to say. It doesn't matter. Anyway,
It's an irrelevant stat is what it is.
It's not a stat. I'm just saying there was some dropped interceptions.
You got
by
a little
Mahomes.
defensive, didn't you?
Yeah,
You got a little
seriously.
defensive.
Because
Because
every-
defensive.
when Mahomes keeps winning and shattering everyone's expectations, they shift the goalposts. We're like, oh my God, he almost got picked off 6 times last season. What about that? What do you got to say about that? It's like,
He should have. They reversed a call and interception that should have been reversed. In my
the
opinion,
ball,
but
like, legitimately, like,
it doesn't matter. The point is
it
that
doesn't matter.
like the Chiefs are looking good right now, but I don't think they're as good as a lot of people are hyping them up to be.
They ain't beating
we're
the Bills
definitely
right now.
Not
beating the Bills right now.
The Bills shitting on everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone in the AFC
right
right now. Things will change. Things will change by the end of the season. We'll be like, yo, what happened to these people? And these people are killing it.
Right.
Like we're 2 weeks in.
Let's not forget
crazy to say.
Our very first pod. I called the Bills as Super Bowl favorites for the AFC.
You did. Over the Chiefs. Let's not forget
And that's
that.
not. Yeah, I did.
He said, let's not forget.
I did, but I'm not. There's only like 6 NFL teams that are undefeated right now, if I'm not mistaken. The only 2 AFC representatives of that are the Chiefs and the Bills.
That shit doesn't matter, dude.
It doesn't. It's week 2. It's way too early.
Like, Cardinals are not looking good. The Raiders definitely should have beat them. Like, they choked. They fumbled the bag.
They fucked that.
They fumbled the bag.
fucked
Like,
that up.
So, I don't think the Cardinals are that good. Chargers, I think, are good. Herbert got hurt. And so
That did happen.
He got hurt. And so, Broncos are struggling right now. We got the 49ers coming up this next week. Let's go ahead and get into that matchup.
So I think you guys are in for a good game because
It should be a good game.
I think Jimmy Garoppolo's ceiling with the with the 49ers now is higher than Trey Lance's ceiling was now. So if Trey Lance was in the game right now, I feel like you guys I would be more confident.
I was sad when he was injured. I was like, dude, he's not going to be able to go against the Broncos. I was sad, legit. I was like, bro, I would rather go against Trey Lance than Jimmy G.
Yeah,
but
same.
All those things considered, I still think that like Trey Lance's floor is way higher than Jimmy G's floor. Not to say that Trey Lance can't stink up a game really bad, but
The Chicago Bears game I watched and it was not
it was
good.
raining
It was
really
not
bad.
good.
It was but
raining pretty
Justin
bad.
Fields was doing all right.
True, but all things considered, I think like you've acknowledged, I think this is not what the Broncos want as far as him being the guy. And like as soon as Trey Lance got hurt, it was maybe 30 minutes after the game. I was seeing Twitter reports from like internal sources who are claiming that like the team is more optimistic with Jimmy G at quarterback.
Which
they should be.
Less optimistic of the Broncos winning because Jimmy G is going
because
against the Broncos.
because he's there.
So like, the reverse effect. Like
Exactly. And Jimmy G gets like some disrespect, I suppose. Like it's kind of common to say like, oh, like no one wanted him per se, but like let's not forget that he led that team to a Super Bowl, and then the very next like couple seasons when he goes back to the postseason, he beat an MVP Aaron Rodgers led team. Jimmy G did that.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously a whole team did that, but Jimmy G was the quarterback opposite of him.
Yeah. Jimmy G's like a poor man's Kirk Cousins.
Pretty much.
Because like he's either gonna go off and like win you the game, or he's gonna shit the bed and throw like a pick 6 and like 2 other interceptions. Like,
Let's get into these other games of the week, and then let's build our parlay. We got about 11 minutes left. So let's do that. Get into this. I mean, first, you named it, 49ers Broncos taking them on Sunday, 6:20 p.m. I hope the Broncos pull it out.
is it at Broncos or is it at San
It
Francisco?
is.
In Power Field or Levi Stadium?
It's at Broncos.
At
Okay.
Broncos, yep.
Broncos are plus 108. So barely favorites.
Barely. Barely underdogs, you mean. Plus.
Oh, yeah, barely underdogs. Damn.
Now, going into this game, regardless of what the final score is, if you guys score less than 21 points as a fan, how do you... Obviously, you get the win. Nothing else matters.
I mean, I think 49ers defense is decent. I mean,
Nick Bosa.
They used to be the best in the league.
yeah, they used to be really good, and I think they're still pretty decent. So ultimately, it's all about how it looks. Like,
The product.
the Texans don't have a good defense, bro. Like, we
don't.
should have scored
We
more
should have
than that.
scored way more
And
than that.
we were in the red zone.
We were
Like,
we keep shooting ourselves in the foot, though. That's
Exactly.
the thing.
There's
we keep
things-
shooting ourselves in the foot.
things where it's like, okay, this is a good team. We didn't score that many points. And then this is a bad team. We didn't score that many points. Like, so,
What do you do?
yeah. So I really hope the Broncos win. If we don't, I'm not going to be like, oh, the season's over type shit.
I'm gonna be pissed. But
Yeah, I'm going to be
But-
sad, but I'm not.
If you guys... Like, the reason I used the question, if you guys score 20 or less than 21 points, is because I feel like the measuring stick in the AFC West is you have to... like, going against other AFC West. Obviously, it doesn't matter what you average as long as you win your division. Like, you
Yeah.
can average way fewer points and win your games. But, like... It kind of shows, that's kind of like a metric that I look at games, like what are their scoring averages, like regardless of defense, and then how do you stack up against that? And if the Broncos are hovering below 21 points for the third week in a row, people are gonna have a lot of questions. Maybe not a lot. I'm not trying to over amplify what could just be a team figuring it out, which is clearly what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't think that you guys are like out of the playoffs if you don't score 21 points next week. I don't think that at all. But I think week 1 was a big shot to the ego at first because everyone had really high expectations, and then you lost to the assumed worst team in the league. No disrespect. And then you go up against the Texans, two very favorable week 1 and 2 matchups, and you guys looked very mortal against the Texans.
Yeah.
But you guys deserved to win that game. There was nothing about that game that like led me to believe, like you were saying with the Chiefs scenario, like there wasn't like a close call, an unfavorable thing.
I mean, if we would have lost that game, I wouldn't have been surprised. Towards the end, we started to pull away, but it was not a good game at all.
Yeah.
It was.
Let's get into these other games, though. We keep touching on the Broncos. It's okay. We got the Giants taking on the Cowboys. We got the Falcons taking on the Seahawks. The Packers taking on the Bucks. Jags versus Chargers. Rams versus Cardinals. Texans versus Bears. Your Chiefs taking on the Colts. Good matchup for you guys. We have the Eagles taking on the Commanders. Lions taking on the Vikings. The Ravens taking on the Patriots. The Saints taking on the Panthers. Raiders taking on the Titans. Bengals taking on the Jets. Bills taking on the Dolphins. And the Browns just beat the Steelers 29-17. First game of week 3.
Yep.
So those are the games lined up. Should we build our parlay? We got a few minutes left, man. Okay. We're kind of cutting it a little close.
All right. Well, games to look out for: Ravens versus New England. That should be a fire game.
That should be a fire game. Definitely.
Okay. Yeah. If you want to build it,
what kind of?
I got my pick.
You already have your pick?
Yeah. I got Rams over Cardinals minus 194.
That's okay. Let me pull this up. NFL. Are you on FanDuel?
I'm on FanDuel.
I'm probably going to load into FanDuel this time.
Okay. I can do the parlay.
I like FanDuel.
I can do the team parlay if you want.
I like doing it too. I like doing it every week.
Okay.
With you guys. Let me log in real quick.
What do you think about Dave? Because I know you don't have the odds in front of you, so if you need me some look some shit up.
Yeah, tell them to look up. And here's the games too.
I mean, I'm probably just going to parlay up something with like the Chiefs.
Yeah. So what do you?
Oh, like a prop?
Something like that.
Oh man, here I'm just gonna get on DraftKings. This is making me do an authentication or whatever. All right, well, what was your pick?
Rams money line minus 194.
Minus 194. Rams money line against the Cardinals.
The Cardinals got lucky last week. They looked like shit against the Chiefs.
I picked up Rams at minus 180.
Okay.
All right, Rams. Who should I pick? Let's see.
So what are you thinking about, Dave? Are you thinking about Mahomes passing yards or touchdowns?
Hold on, I'm reading something real quick. I don't know. I was thinking maybe passing yards, but yeah, I was thinking maybe like up like beyond 250 yards, but I'm considering changing mine because if Justin Herbert does not play against the Jags, that could create a totally different outcome for that game because of his ribs.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm considering betting on that, but it's like my bet's predicated on him not playing.
Yeah, I don't know if that's worth it.
All right, so can you do a prop bet for like Mahomes, like 250 or 300 yards? Do you have those odds?
Yeah, so you can do Mahomes alternate passing yards plus 250 minus 320.
Okay. So that's like not that favorable.
It's probably going to happen. His over-under for yards is 288.5. That's his over-under. Okay,
so let's do the over on that.
So,
over
okay, hold on. Let me open it up. The Chiefs, what are you doing?
That's minus 114.
Okay, I'm down with that. Okay, so I was originally betting that Mahomes was going to get either 250 or 300 yards passing at least, but I was curious what the odds were, and based on what he told me, the 288 being his expectation, that I'll go over that.
So you're picking over 288?
Yeah, whatever.
You do plus 275 for minus 166.
Whichever is clever.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Those are pretty much the same.
Because right here, what are you under on that? Because I'm under passing props, and I see an over
Mahomes
290.
Alternate passing yards. Yeah, the over, yeah. So 290 and 288 are very similar. So just over.
Just pick that.
Over 290. Mahomes.
Damn, that's kind of a big.
Mahomes to have an interception is plus 102.
You're a fucking hater, dog.
He says, you're a fucking hater, dog.
Next week, my part of the parlay, or like my next bet will be like, Russ is going to turn it over on downs.
Oh, nice.
So my leg, I'm going under passing props under the Buffalo Bills and Miami Dolphins game, and I'm picking Josh Allen to throw over 1.5 pass TDs.
1.5, that's conservative.
Yeah. That's conservative, right? I could honestly go a little higher, huh?
Should
I go a little higher?
2.
I honestly, minus 200. That's not bad. That's not bad for a parlay.
Yeah,
that's great for
basically
parlay.
mine.
So if we do all three of our picks, we're at a plus 336. That's pretty good.
That's good.
That's
dude.
a good 3-leg.
Don't let Dave shit talk you. It's not his money, dude. He's not spending any money.
What pissed me off is when I picked up Russ for it was like a over 1.5 the first week.
Yeah.
And motherfucker missed it by toes.
Yeah.
Literally toes inbounds or toes out of bounds, like a fucking toe hair, bro.
Yeah. Bills' offense is better to bet on than the Broncos.
Definitely so. I guarantee that my leg, the most likely to cash. Definitely.
Think
most
so?
likely to cash. Oh, yeah. Josh Allen over 2 passing touchdowns
Yeah.
against the Dolphins?
2 or
Come
more.
on. Come on.
I mean, they dropped, or Lamar Jackson turned that defense up. So, so yeah.
Yeah, I can see it. So, if you guys didn't hear, our parlay is the LA Rams money line minus 180, over 290 or 288 passing yards for Patty Mahomes against the Colts, and then Josh Allen to throw over 1.5 pass touchdowns, and that parlay comes out to plus 336. If you bet $10, you get 43.62 back. If you bet $5, you get 21. So check us out. Last week, man, how many legs did we miss? 2?
We missed 2.
We missed 2, and it's obviously the people that weren't here missed their legs.
Well, I mean, Deryk's here, but
here.
Yeah. Steelers lost by a field goal, and then Browns lost in the last second by 1 point, by 1 point against the fucking Jets. Joe Flacco, third in the league in passing yards. Our passing leaders is like Carson Wentz and Joe Flacco and somebody. I think Tua.
It's so random.
Crazy.
Tua's killing it.
Not Mahomes, not Joe Burrow, not Herbert, not Josh Allen. Like,
not Hurts.
Yeah, those are our top 3. Like, it's fucking crazy for passing yards.
It's been crazy. The football's been crazy. It's been crazy, man.
It's been wild.
It has been crazy. Do we have anything else, guys? I think that's it. We did our parlay. We talked football. I do have one fantasy question before we go. I did want to kind of make this into a thing that we do here. Yeah. I heard you. You gave me the 3-minute mark. But I have one question for you. For this question, if you guys have any questions on yours too, feel free to ask.
So I'm 0-2 in my league. Dave's 1-1. I think
Richie, you're 1-1. I'm in 3 leagues, and 2 of them I'm 1-1, and 1 is 0-2.
Got you. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me go to my other team. Actually, it's on here.
I lost both weeks by a combined of 5 points.
Yikes.
Yep. Pretty fucking sad, dude.
Yikes. You're right there, dude. So, one question. Should I play Marcus Mariota against the Seattle Seahawks, projected at 17 points? Or should I play Jared Goff?
I thought about this myself. And so I'm playing Mariota.
I'm playing Mariota too. I thought I had to ask.
The Lions are decent. They're underdogs against the Vikings. I put money on them.
Really?
Yep.
We're going to have to go over bets.
Yep.
And then another question. Kirk Cousins or Mariota?
Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins is playing Detroit. Atlanta is playing Seattle.
Toss up. I got Mariota on my team.
Got you. That's all I wanted to ask. Do you guys have any questions on yours? I'm done.
No,
good. Well, that's been an episode of Sport Champs. Guys, if you watched this all the way through, thank you guys so much. Do not forget to check out my new single, Lionheart. Music video coming soon. I still got to talk to this guy. We've been so busy, man. But hopefully music video coming soon. Check out Street Champs Show. Check out our interviews that we just did. Do not forget to hit me up for all the tickets for these upcoming shows. Our upcoming live show, October 29th. And then we have an upcoming show with Kirko Banks and Troy Good out here in Pueblo. Hit me up for tickets, $30. I'll deliver them to you. That's been it, man. October 21st, October 29th, maybe November 3rd for these shows. Gonna keep them rolling. Thank you guys for listening, and catch you guys later.